Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the show. We want to thank you once again for listening to All Soccer All Day. I'm in Los Angeles. I'm one of your hosts, Eric D. And that man over there is Stevie Mack. He's in Chicago. What's up, Stevie Mack?
Oh, not much, not much. Just excited to get into these semifinal matches.
Yes, I hear that.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
But we bring it to you real and we bring it to you raw. So we'd like to thank you once again, wherever you might be in this country, listening to us, however you may be listening to us, or even around the world. I believe Stevie Mack told me the other day we got listeners in, what was it, Stevie?
We got
Germany.
Yeah, Germany, Iran, Norway, Sweden, the UK. Yeah, it's going pretty well. We're getting the message of soccer across the world. You know, people are tuning in, checking us out all across the US also. So we thank all of you guys for tuning in. Please support us. Go to allsoccerallday.com. Subscribe there to our weekly newsletter when we let everyone know that the podcast is out and everything like that. You could also subscribe to us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn. We're working on YouTube right now, so you really can find us pretty much everywhere a podcast can be found, as well as, of course, on our webpage. And speaking of that, we want to thank all the subscribers that are our Patreon subscribers. You're going to really allow us to produce this content, and in the future, you know, really our goal is to help kids that are less fortunate be able to be sponsored and get jerseys and uniforms and all kinds of cool stuff like that they otherwise would not be able to afford for themselves. And so, you know, if you support us on Patreon, that is what you're kind of supporting right now. It's something that we think is going to be really great. You know, Eric D, we were talking actually just today about our history in playing this game and the main guys and ladies that got us involved in playing this game. And, we're just trying to give back the kind of same way they did for us. And so please support us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/allsoccerallday. And you'll be given to a good cause, man.
Yeah, anything helps, guys. You could do $1 a month. That's $12 a year. It's really not a lot. I mean, but hey, whatever you can do, even if you can't financially support the show, like he said, go on to our website, allsoccerallday.com. You can subscribe to the podcast. But let's say you don't like soccer, you can still put the word out. Maybe you see someone on the street that likes soccer. You can say, hey, you know, I know a website. It's all about soccer. You know, word of mouth. Anything helps, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, you know, speaking of thank yous, one of the way that we're going to try to thank everyone is doing some giveaways. So we do have a giveaway that we're doing thanks to our first sponsor, Vaporgate. Vaporgate is the premium e-liquids from Colorado. Shout out to Yosh for hooking us up. We are fortunate enough to give away a dually, which is a vape setup with 90 milliliters of e-liquid called Smurf, which is like a blue raspberry flavor. So if you're into vaping, here's what I want you to do. I want you to text us at 312-278-7630. So text us All Soccer All Day to 312-278-7630. That way we know you'll actually use the product. We don't want to just give it away to someone that's not going to use it. So let us know what's up. If you text us, then you are entered to win, and we will be letting everyone know who the winner is of the dually and the 90 milliliters of Smurf next on our next podcast, which will be, I believe, probably Monday morning after the final. So
correct.
Also, we have another giveaway after the final, and we'll talk about that then. But please send us that text message. Text All Soccer All Day to 312-278-7630 for your chance to win a dually with 90 milliliters of e-liquid. Thank you and compliments of Vaporgate, premium Colorado e-juice, e-liquid. Check them out at vaporgate.com. And they're all over Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. So Vaporgate, please check them out. Big shout out to them. What else you got, Eric D?
Looks like we're going to go into some headlines, guys, just before we actually do our semifinal review and go into the preview of the third place match and the finals. This is something that you'll probably see from us going forward here as we transition to our regular program. When we focus on the Premier League and MLS, we'll probably do headlines towards the top of the show and just give you kind of the notes and news around the world of what's happening in soccer, as we are not going to just live in the Premier League and MLS bubble. We will talk about everything that is soccer. So, yeah, that's where we're at. And the biggest headline right now that everybody's talking about is Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo. What do you got to say about that, Stevie Mac?
Well, he's moving to Juve, and, I think it's a great move for the Italian club. I think it's a great move for the Italian league. Honestly, I think it's a good move all the way around. I actually think it's a win-win-win for all three of the parties involved. Real Madrid is, I think, getting a great price for Ronaldo, who also is getting to go into a league where he's still going to be the top player, and he's still going to be there for a couple more years, probably one of the top players, if not the top player in that league, and get to play. And then also it's huge for the Italian league, because now people are going to be selling out stadiums to see Ronaldo as he kind of goes to the last phase, I guess, of his career, if you want to call it that, right? What do you think, Eric D?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, he's going as the downside of he's exiting prime, maybe not necessarily in the twilight of his career, but I envision he'll be at Juve for the next few seasons. Maybe he'll see out the contract of 4 years, and then I still envision him coming to MLS and playing in Miami with David Beckham's club.
I think that's a really cool, if it's a prophecy come true in the future, that'll be pretty awesome. So, unfortunately, this is going to be something that we'll get into in the future, the MLS being, kind of dubbed the retirement league and all that kind of stuff. And Ronaldo after Juve would, of course, definitely be falling into that category as well. And there's a lot of big names that have come over in the later phases of their career, and we'll talk about that on our normal shows. But for now, we're just kind of highlighting some of the main things that are going on. So, Cristiano Ronaldo going over to Juve is, of course, a big thing, which, of course, opens the vacuum in Real Madrid for who's next. And we just saw recently that Real Madrid looks like they may be preparing a €150 million bid for Eden Hazard to Chelsea. I mean, what do you think about that? Do you think how do you think, just speculating how Hazard would fit into the Real Madrid system, how do you think that looks?
That's an interesting question. I definitely see Eden Hazard wanting to make that move, because I think he's run his course at Chelsea. I mean, I think he's ready to move on, and I mean, when a club like Real Madrid comes calling, I don't think you turn away. So
yeah,
how he fits in the Real Madrid system, that's an interesting question. Because, I mean, they got guys like Luka Modric and Toni Kroos in that midfield. Wait, is he going to be out on the wing?
And they have Isco on the bench a lot of times. Isco, one of the most skilled players, with dribbling and how he moves and how he reads the game, and he's on the bench. So in many games, it's crazy.
Yeah, and that's where you get to this crossroads. Do I want to be at a glamour club like Real Madrid and make lots of money, but possibly be like squad rotation, be on the bench a lot, or do I want to be playing game in and game out? And usually the top players in the world want to be playing game in and game out. As you see, as it is, when they're taken out of a game, like in the 85th minute or whatever, they're frustrated.
Yeah.
They usually don't like it.
Yeah, I definitely hear that. There's also a couple other interesting rumors that are flying around there involving, there's an interesting rumor right now that the Manchester United are in advanced talks to sign Gareth Bale from Real Madrid. I recently just saw that. So, I mean, there's some things coming around, and these are just again, rumors right now as far as we're concerned. We haven't seen anything confirmed yet, and so don't take our word as 100%, but we are doing our best to try to be out in front of a couple things at least. So these are some interesting ideas, some interesting things, but until the pen meets the paper, until the cash is in the bank, so to speak, all this stuff is just speculation, I suppose, right?
That is true. I heard a wise man say once, until you see the player in front of a news conference holding up the jersey, it's all rumor. I mean, so I guess in some essence, Cristiano Ronaldo isn't at Juve yet.
Yeah,
we haven't seen him hold up that jersey
yet. Yeah.
Even though we've seen him, like, the people that do the Photoshop, I mean, he's all over the internet in a Juve jersey already, looking like he's been there already. So.
Yeah, hey, he looks good in that jersey too. I gotta say, man, he's gonna be going over there, and he's gonna be playing with one Mario Mandzukic, who later on we are going to be talking about because he made a huge impact in the semifinals. So we'll get to that in a little bit. There's some exciting stuff in the future to talk about as far as Juve and their lineup and how we see them playing and all that kind of stuff. But again, we'll get into that later. You have anything else you want to kind of throw in here before we wrap this beginning section up?
Yeah, I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Stevie Mac, what do you think of the goatee that CR7's rocking these days?
Well, I think he was.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I have. I mean, I don't know. It's maybe he was a little premature with that, getting knocked out by Uruguay. 2-0, not being able to score. I don't know. The goatee. I felt him really making a push to make that run deep into these World Cup finals and actually making that name. I had said this before, that to be honest, because we're witnessing Messi and Ronaldo, two of the greatest players ever, and they're in the same generation as everyone says, I was rooting for both of those guys in this World Cup, because how cool is it to be alive and witness something like that, right? How often does that come along? It really doesn't, to see something like that. So I was rooting for both of them, but he gets knocked out, so is Messi, and that's how it winds up. You're now on the biggest stage in the world, and obviously these guys like Belgium and France and Uruguay even, and on the other side of the bracket, no one is a joke in these tournaments. So you have to. It's a team game, man. It's a team game. Even if you're the best player in the world, you gotta have the people around you and the system around you to be able to succeed. And we're going to be talking about that a little bit more as we get into these semifinal reviews and all that.
Unless you're Maradona from '86, supposedly he carried that team all the way to the final.
Yeah. So okay, I guess it is good that you pointed that out. I guess it is good that you pointed that out, because that's why that guy is in the same conversation for the best of all time with Pele, Messi, and now, I mean, people are still talking about Ronaldo. I mean, this is a rabbit hole that, as you said, we don't really want to get down into right now. So
yeah, to be fair to the guys today, the game in '86 is a little different than the game now. So I mean, it's always hard to compare eras, and this is the reason why.
Yep.
So,
but that being said, Maradona, have you, when's the last time you watched it?
I'm not taking anything away from him.
God.
Yeah, but
I love how he was flipping people off in the middle of games as well, though, just totally hammered, like, just insane, man. But it's like the spectacle that is Maradona, which is like the game would not be the same without this guy. And so if you take it from the entertainment point of view, this guy is just like unreal, man. So
he brings the color, no doubt.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, let's get into these semifinal reviews. So we will be right back. And Eric D, you got anything else to say?
Ready to get stuck in.
All right, let's do it.
Yo, what's up, guys? Hey, you're listening to All Soccer All Day once again. I'm Eric D, and that's Stevie Mac. And we're going to go over the World Cup semifinal reviews right now before we get into the final preview. First match was France versus Belgium. What were your opening thoughts on that one, Stevie Mac?
Well, first of all, I would like to say for the record that I was a 0 for 1 on this game, and then we'll keep track of the second game soon too. But I got this one wrong, but I will say that it was an exciting game to watch for me. I really enjoyed the play in this game. There was really, even though it ended 1-0, 1-0, it still, there was skill, there was amazing saves, there was great shots, there was drama. It was everything that you, in my opinion, really want in a semifinal match. It was exciting, and France, they turned it on at the right time. They're heating up, and they are, looking really, really strong right now. Let's talk a little bit more about some highlights here in a second. But Eric D, what were your thoughts about the game as well?
Well, to be honest, it was a cagey affair. I thought towards the end it got a little ugly. It wasn't pretty, but France grinded it out. The defense stood tall. I mean, to shut out a team like Belgium is not a easy ask.
No.
And Eden Hazard was the man of the match.
Oh man, that guy was so dirty all game. I mean, he was just toasting people down the left side, making cuts, and the first shot that he had, I was thinking that was going to go in, like right away. As soon as he got the ball down on the left corner, he made that cut, and then he shot that ball. It looked on frame. It looked good to go. And I think, as you said, the theme of a lot of this match was that France and the defense, they always were there first on the last ball. And it was always them being able to get that last little touch, that last little deflection, just the minutia of touches to end up saving that goal, because that goal was in. It was in. If he didn't get a touch, that was going to the top corner. So
it set the tone early on that it was going to be, definitely it was a semifinal. I mean, there was tension, there was some excitement. I like my games to be, more open, more back and forth, free flowing. I understand. I get the gravity of the situation, the semifinal of the World Cup. So that's the only problem in these big games. Sometimes there's so much tension, so much pressure. The weight of the game is unbearable for the players, and sometimes you don't see a good game aesthetically. So
yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but looking back at a lot of these highlights and a lot of the way these guys were playing, you're right. It is. I think that in general, most teams are trying to enact a little bit more defensive-minded efforts because obviously. No doubt. Going down and giving up goals is the easiest way to lose. So, it's going to be a little tighter. But if you look at just the skill level that was being displayed when it counted, it was ridiculous. Okay, so how about that save by Hugo Lloris to keep Belgium out? 2 hands on the ball, diving over to his right. And he got 2 hands on that. And that was going in the top corner. Like, guaranteed that was going in the top corner.
Huge save. And I must say, Stevie Mac, I believe you've got a crush on the goalies in this tournament. I mean, maybe goalies in general.
I will say it. I think that even though I really like scoring goals, I am the worst keeper you've ever seen in your life. But that's why I respect the keeper so much. And, the way these guys read the game and the athleticism it takes to be able to do what they do is just another, like, tip of the cap to this game, because it really does take everything. And the keepers, no joke. So I continuing down that road, Courtois then makes another big save later in the game, at least, to prevent it getting way too out of hand. But he couldn't keep out Umtiti which again, I have to say, when I'm looking back at the highlights of this game, what an incredible touch. And, this just goes to show, and he did that on Fellaini too. He like posterized Fellaini, basically.
Yeah.
Fellaini goes up for that header too, and Umtiti's there first. He has the position. He ends up just getting that small touch, and then there you go, right to the back of the net.
Hey. Oh man, I don't know why. What's the guy's name again from France? Umtiti.
Yeah, Umtiti. Yeah.
Like every time I hear his name, I think about those creatures from Star Wars.
Which one?
It's the same.
Ewoks?
It's the creatures from, not the Ewoks. I can't remember the guys with the hoods with the eyes.
Okay, I can't
not
remember
the
either
sand
right now.
people. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
they're like,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, okay, I hear what you're saying. Oh man.
I'm sorry. No offense to our man. No offense to my.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's
friend,
all love. It's all love.
It's all love. But I just, every time I hear his name, that's what I think about.
Okay, well, so
maybe I'll start a new internet meme or something.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. But getting back to some of these highlights here, we have one of the dirtiest touches from Mbappe in this entire tournament. You remember that? You remember that two-touch back heel to set up Giroud, who couldn't finish again?
Oh, yeah,
dude.
no, that's our man, dude. Your boy Stu Holden called it filth of the highest order.
Yeah,
if I'm getting it right.
That is it's a great quote. So good one.
Yeah.
Filth of the highest order.
Yeah.
And really it was. I mean, the vision he had to be able to see that, and then the skill it takes to be able to like pull that off at full speed. Just absolutely
audacious.
I mean, I got an Mbappe jersey. Like,
oh yeah, I think you had told me.
Yeah, I mean, I had to. It's basically based on that.
Did you get the white one?
No, I got the blue
away one or the home?
I got the blue.
You got the blue one? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I got the blue.
I really like the away.
I know the away white one is dope too, and I was thinking about that, but I have a bunch of white jerseys already, so I decided I needed another blue one, so.
Yeah, I feel you. Got to balance it out.
Actually, originally, I'll say this: I originally predicted that Belgium was going to win. I thought they were on fire. I was wrong again, and big props to France. My bad. But Belgium, I went originally to Chicago Soccer to buy a Belgium jersey, but they were out. So that's actually the truth of how I ended up with that France jersey. Shame on you. But hey, but it's all good, I'll jump on the bandwagon. I'm not ashamed of being a bandwagon fan on a lot of this, because I just love the game. So if the USA isn't playing, then it's all about just seeing the best players in the world, and Mbappe is clearly becoming, if not already, one of the best players in the world.
You know what? To touch on that point that you just made, I will say about this, although it was I shouldn't say tragic. I feel like I don't want to use that word, but it was disappointing that the U.S. national team, the men's national team, didn't make this tournament, as we all know. We don't want to bring back some bad memories right now, but the fact that the U.S. was not in this tournament got me to enjoy this tournament from a different perspective.
Totally.
Like the pressure of watching your own country and the agony that you go through watching a match of your country.
Yeah.
I didn't have that.
Yeah.
There was relief.
Yeah, that's true.
That
I would agree with you. I mean, I was just enjoying. I have been enjoying
as a fan,
and continuing to enjoy, and super excited about the final and even the third place game. Like, I'm excited about that. Like we talked about that last time. We'll get into that later. Stop giving me a hard time. But whatever. So looking at this game again, just coming back to a couple more things that end up happening in this game as far as highlights go, because we want to make sure that we don't really miss too much. Again, we had the Courtois save on Pavard, and it was just absolutely another little notch on the belt for keepers and what they do for the game. Because even though Belgium ends up going down, that save to me kept them in the game, at least to be able to try something a little bit later in the game, to try to come back. Because if they would have gone down 2-0 at that point in time, it would have for sure been over, but at least it seemed like Belgium had a chance all the way through to the end. Although the last few minutes of the game, as you were saying, it did get kind of, I don't know, it got ugly, as you said, the last few minutes for sure.
Yeah, it's nothing you really want to see on this level, but those are the stakes. I get it. You have a chance at soccer immortality.
Right.
And so it's like, you're going to do whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
And if you got to muck it up, you got to muck it up.
Well, and that, again, kind of gets back into, the way back with Japan, one of the things that we were talking about backing into the tournament. But at the same time, like, that's a big step for Japan, So, like you said, it's that soccer immortality that you're chasing, and what would you do to get that? And the answer is anything, right? I mean, this is what they do.
Pretty much.
This is what they're doing. So anyway, let's move into the next game.
All right, guys. So we're here, and we are going to break down the next match that followed the other semifinal, which was Croatia and England. What were your opening thoughts about that match, Stevie?
Well, I have to say this was a heartbreaker on one side because I really like the English side. They're one of my favorite teams. I love watching them play, and it was great to see them set up to make a deep run. I really thought they were going to go to the final over Croatia, especially the way Croatia was had played the two penalty kick shootout matches right before this. So I just thought there was no way that a fresh England team was not going to come out on top. But heartbreaker from that end. And then on the other side, Croatia, it looks like a tank. I mean, they look absolutely unbelievable. Their fitness, the way they're playing all the way through, it's remarkable. It's unbelievable. And it was just exciting to see that, and it's a different kind of history, like Croatia's making a very exciting thing in history, being the 13th, I think, nation to challenge for their World Cup championship. So it was exciting to see that from Croatia, but definitely a heartbreaker from England's point of view.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Croatia is going to their first World Cup final in their history. They haven't been this close, or hadn't been this close since '98, when I believe they lost to the French or Brazil. I maybe it was Brazil. I don't remember exactly who they lost to in that semifinal in '98, but yeah, it's huge.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. It's good to see. I mean, we're either going to see France lift a trophy for the second time ever in their history, or Croatia's going to win it for the first time. So it will be, that's something we'll obviously talk about here when we preview the final. Yeah. But just getting back to this match between England and Croatia, you would think Croatia would just, like, their legs would just be dead. Like, I don't know if I've said it earlier, but I'll say it again. Their strength and conditioning coach, the man needs a raise or something. Because whatever they're doing there to get these guys ready and going, and I just don't even know. Like, that's going to be an interesting thing to see, considering that the turnaround from this match to the final is, 3-4 days? Yeah. I mean, it's like, how are those? I mean, granted, France just played a day before.
Yeah.
But I mean, France hasn't had a gruel like Croatia.
No,
so how are those legs going to be?
Well, no one's gone down through the tournament with such a difficult road as Croatia, and it just makes them look all the more dangerous. I mean, these guys they just undeniable, man. They just keep going. They keep trucking. And so kind of going through some of these highlights just to kind of catch anyone up that was unable to see it. The first goal happened in the 5th minute, and it was off a set piece. Surprise, surprise for England. Trippier has an incredible strike around the wall. upper 90 on the right side. There was no stopping this. And so it looks early like England was going to come away already with this huge lead and this huge, thing up front. So then a couple minutes later, 30th minute, Harry Kane is denied twice. And Harry Kane was let in on a beautiful pass from Lingard. Almost had it. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Perisic coming across the box, a perfect cross in. Perisic puts his left boot up, gets an amazing touch on the outside of the boot, and pokes it past Pickford. And it was absolutely it was just such a opportunistic style goal. And just, but again, incredible. So they bring it level, and a few minutes later, Perisic again has another opportunity off the dribble, hits the post, and it ends up not going in. Pickford ends up getting control of the ball, but again, very close. And so at this point in time, all of a sudden for me, the momentum had swung for me now. And as a fan, I'm watching like, I don't know if England's going to make it. They didn't look like they had the same kind of engine that Croatia had. And lo and behold, they go into extra time again. And so this is like, this has never happened, right?
I don't think so. I don't know what the statistics say, but I've got to imagine it hasn't happened before.
I don't think this has happened before. I don't think that a team has gone through the entire knockout round going through extra time and getting to the final. I don't think that's ever happened.
Yeah, no, and they had two penalty kick shootouts before this. So, I mean, it's insane. I mean, Croatia is got a lucky rabbit in their hat or something. Something's going on there. I mean, it's all good. I mean, I'm not assuming anything is happening that's not on the level with Croatia, but it's just like, man, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's really what they're doing.
It really is.
Never been done.
It really is. So, well, okay, so back to a couple of the last few things in this game that end up going down. Pickford comes out with an amazing save on Mandzukic, and where he comes out, he meets the ball is coming in on a cross. He comes out, they collide, and Pickford comes up with the big save, stands up, and gets over Mandzukic, and is totally talking smack, like, get out of my house, I just owned you, fool. And that was exciting, and it seemed to give England kind of this quick little breath of life where they came back in. It looked like they were going to possibly put something away. Stones puts a header on net. It's saved, though, so nothing happens. And then they go into extra time, and then lo and behold, Mandzukic is just poaching. He's in the box. Yeah. He's hanging out. Yeah. Stones is ball watching, man. If you go back and watch the replay, Stones is just standing there. The ball gets popped up, and it's I believe it comes off the head of one of the Croatian players, and it just happens to bounce into space. And Stones, instead of making a play on the ball, was standing there watching the ball. And Mandzukic took the opportunity before Stones saw it. Stones was actually facing the wrong direction, and that's why Mandzukic beat him to it. Stones was facing away from goal. Mandzukic was facing goal, and so Mandzukic had the edge, and he tucks it away. And all of a sudden, Croatia, the most unlikely... I mean, I shouldn't say the most unlikely. There was more unlikely teams to get this far, but one of the less likely teams that you would think would be getting to the final because of the difficulty of their games they've had so far. Yeah, no, I think I read a stat where it said they had a 3% chance of being in the final. Yeah, I guess when the tournament started, which is crazy to me because it's like 3%. That's Dude,
pretty low.
I wonder if anyone. I wonder if anyone put money on Croatia, like big money on Croatia.
Yeah, and they're probably Croatian.
Yeah, well, of course. They have to.
You know,
I mean,
but
if
yeah,
there was
well, I
anyone,
mean, they don't necessarily have to be.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
It's just like it's amazing. I mean, Croatia has defied the odds, no doubt about it, to get this far. It's a great story.
Yeah.
And it's just another compelling, headline going into the final. A few questions for you, Stephen Mack, before we move on to the next bit here. Going back, rewinding, what did you think on that first goal? Not the first goal by Trippier. The first goal for Croatia. Is that dangerous play for you?
I mean, not at this level.
How do you feel about that?
To me, not at this level. I just don't
I'd
think so.
have to agree.
I mean, like,
even as a defender.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are the best in the world. This is.
Yeah.
And the
man's game.
Yeah, and the fact is, he doesn't kick him in the face. Although I think it was Kyle Walker, he could have kicked him in the face, but he didn't. And they both made a play on the ball. It was clean. It was fair. And he put it away. So no, it's not dangerous play to me. And I think it was more an incredible touch. I mean, to pick the ball out of the air like that, give me a break, man. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no doubt. And then Harry Kane, what do you think of his performance? Did he disappear in this match for you? I mean, he missed the sitter.
Yeah, he had his opportunities. It didn't come through. I don't know if I'd necessarily say he disappeared. I mean, we heard his name throughout the game. I don't know if it was necessarily, it was the connection, it seemed, to the final third just didn't quite seem to be there. Like, because when it was there, basically, when Lingard puts Kane in on net, that was like a really good example of the midfield giving service to the forwards and have the opportunity to score. But that didn't happen a whole lot. And in this game, Sterling, who's been a menace the entire time, just cutting in and out, making plays, again, even if he doesn't score, just the fact that he's making these dangerous runs, he was not as productive as he was in his previous game. So all the stuff that had kind of been clicking for England throughout the entire tournament just wasn't quite there. And then, of course, by the way, I didn't even mention this part where late in the game, Trippier comes off with an injury. They're down to 10 men late in the game, and they bring Vardy on. They have Rashford come in as well, and they really tried to pour on the attacking power, and just the absolute sheer Great Wall of Croatia just doesn't break. And so incredible, man. Really exciting to see Croatia play. It's definitely the underdog story of the World Cup right now. There were bigger underdogs, of course, but I mean, if France is not ready, and we see an upset, I would call it an upset right now, right? France has to be the favorite at this point in time.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
I mean, for a lot of reasons, when you look at it on paper. But as we always say in this game, the game is played on the pitch. It is not played on paper. So with France, even though they are looking so hot coming into this, just overpowering teams now, seeming to peak at the right time, man, this Croatia team has shown, and they've proven again, and now they have everyone basically drinking the Kool-Aid. Just like, okay, this is the tank that is Croatia. Respect. It has been earned 100%, and you can't deny it anymore, right?
No, you're right. To just go back to England, there's obviously a lot of, how do I say this? There's a lot of positive feedback coming from England and their supporters, and there's a lot of negative feedback coming from the supporters as well. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna, probably get a lot of crap for people that obviously love England and support England. I'm gonna go on the side. I'm gonna criticize the behavior of England in this tournament in the sense of some of this is tongue in cheek, I'm being half serious, half joking here, but did all the "it's coming home" chants and all that, I mean, granted, the fans were loving it. They were feeling themselves. They were enjoying. I mean, you have to have hope. You have to have belief, right? But did they maybe jinx themselves? Maybe did they?
I don't know, man.
I know there's people out in the world. I mean, I don't know if you heard about Mario Balotelli. In some ways, he was happy that England got knocked out of the tournament.
Yeah.
Because he was, he's resentful of the crap he got when he was in Man City and at Liverpool. Granted, a lot of that has to do with his production and his behavior at the time. So I mean, some of it's merited, there's with warrant. But I don't know how you feel about England and that side of things. Like maybe they got their, what was deserved. I don't know. They didn't. When you really look at it, they were on the easier side of the bracket, and who did they beat?
Yeah.
Like they beat Panama and Tunisia in the group. They lost to Belgium.
Yep.
And then in their first knockout game, granted the Colombia game was no gimme, but James Rodriguez did not play.
It's true.
They had to win. They won that on penalties. They beat Sweden. No one thought Sweden was going to be there.
Yeah,
to be honest,
that's true.
And then they ended up losing to Croatia. So it's like,
that's a good point. I didn't really think about that kind of string of games that way. It seemed like England looked a lot. I guess, you're right. Looked a lot more powerful than maybe they ended up really being.
There's a great radio sports personality. I won't drop his name, but what he always talks about is take the emotion out of it.
Yeah.
Pull back, look at it in totality. What do you see? That's one of the harder things to do in sports because we as fans are emotionally invested in our team.
Absolutely.
So that's why, fan is short for fanatic. So it's like, when you really look at it, England went on an improbable run, some would say, and it's the best England has done in a long time.
Yeah.
Shout out to Pickford, their goalie.
Yeah.
Because they've always seemed to have issues in the back.
Yeah, that's
with
true.
Keeper for England for a while, and I think the man had a great tournament. I think
absolutely.
He can help.
He definitely earned a contract, man. He definitely earned a future contract with that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think England as a whole doesn't have too much to be ashamed of. It's just, I don't know. I think when you're it's coming home and you're just, I think there's some
getting
people
a little
that
too
just
hyped too soon. Kind of like like having a goatee a little too soon. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, Roy Keane had said on one of the shows, a pundit for I forgot which broadcast it was, but he was basically saying, like, what are we getting all excited about? Like, they need to make a final. They need to, England has not been in a final since 1966.
Yeah.
And this is the birthplace of football.
Yeah.
So there's people that are in England today, like, they're just like, this is rubbish, as they would say.
That's true.
I don't know. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I really like the way that you went through that. I think it sheds some pretty good non-emotional light on England's tournament as a whole, which, we can definitely get into some of that when we do some of the World Cup review itself after the final is over. But I think that was good insight, man. Yeah, right on. So moving forward, Croatia, of course, comes out with the win 2-1, and now we have set up France-Croatia for the World Cup. And it's an exciting match. France seems to be the favorite right now. They seem to be the dominant team. But, again, Croatia has proven that they can't seem to be stopped. And they have the heart. They have the drive. They seem to have that, that eighth gear right now, somehow. And so everyone's taking note now. And everyone better be ready because Croatia's going to bring it. I think this is going to be a very exciting final. I'm hoping. It could end up being pretty defensive. On the other side, because Croatia might have to back in a little bit.
Are you glossing over your favorite match though?
Oh yeah, my third place match. Yeah. I mean, this is one of the more important matches. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. It's like Premier League All-Stars game, kind of with a sprinkle of Bundesliga here and there. So that's gonna be cool if Premier League actually, these guys come out and actually play. But
yeah, I
don't know.
I think FIFA always wrestles with the third place game. They had it, they took it away, they bring it back. I really hope that we will see a game that these guys play it like what it is, kind of an expedition. It's like they should just be free and just play and not worry about what happens. Just be free, dared. Like I hope we see an open game. I really do. I feel like a broken record, but just I don't know. We could get another drab game and and just be like,
yeah, that's true. I mean, the thing is that of course the Premier League is starting very shortly after the World Cup. None of these guys want to get injured, and before that, it could end up being kind of a snooze fest, or maybe just there a bunch of guys that are on the bench get a bunch of runs, man. Maybe Trent starts. Who knows? That'll be still an exciting thing for young players that are up and coming through these two systems of exciting footballers. Belgium also has a great bench, and it's going to be fun to watch these guys come out, and hopefully they kick the ball around and show us some skill and have fun with it. Basically, that's all you can really ask for.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically going to be the curtain kind of for Belgium's, golden generation, quote unquote.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always going to be interesting to see how the football world develops, because Belgium obviously has made a name for themselves in more ways than one in this tournament. And now what's next for them? And so that might be a little bit of what you see in this third place game, just seeing, maybe a couple future players out there and seeing if these guys can try to make a name for themselves early. Who knows? But, honestly, I don't really want to get too deep into that game because, as you said, it's not a huge deal. But do you have anything that you want to put on that game before we move on to the final?
I just hope and pray no one gets injured, I guess. That's
man.
Probably the last thing that you'd want to see from a game like that. But I mean, I'll most likely watch. It's still the World Cup. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the mood of the players, how their body language. I think you'll be able to tell a lot by the body language of the players and like how they're actually playing. It will be,
of course.
It will be apparent pretty early on how.
Oh, the first time there's a 50-50 ball, you'll know who's there to play and who's not.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Exactly. That's a good. That's a good indication there.
Okay, so moving into our final. This is taking place on Sunday, July 15th, here in the United States.
Drum roll.
And we have France versus Croatia for the final.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Yep. Okay, so Eric D, give us a breakdown on what you think might transpire in this World Cup final.
Well, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. France, best be ready. Because this Croatia team they're here to play. They're all business. They're no nonsense. I don't see France beating them into submission. I feel like this could be a dogfight. Hopefully, it's a dogfight in a good game, a good way. Hopefully, it goes back and forth. and we don't see, 0-0. I mean, I don't know. Maybe some people like that because maybe we'll go to penalties, and maybe that's a great way to decide a champion. I don't know. I don't know if I totally agree with that, but it'd be nice to see a few goals. I don't expect it to be a goal fest, but if it became like a 2-1,
I'm hoping for a 2-1 also. I'm hoping for that too. I mean, it's always exciting to see a team go up, the other team level, and then it's a race to the finish, man. It's who can make that last play, who wants it just that little bit more, and so that's always fun to see. But like you said before, it could end up being 0-0. Croatia is tired. They have to be tired. How can they not be tired? How can they not be tired? Really. It's ridiculous.
I don't know. Unless they're just sleeping nonstop until the final. Maybe they're just having a sleep marathon.
The body recovering from these games and the length of the games.
I would like to know how many miles Croatia is run at this tournament already.
Yeah.
Someone has to have that stat out there.
Yeah, we'll have to look that up. If you know that stat, then drop us a line real quick. Text us 312. Let's see, it's 312-278-7630. If you know the stat for that, look up how many miles, because that would be a lot of fun.
Check on the ye old internet.
So, going back to this, okay, you were saying hopefully you're hoping for a 2-1. What else?
Well, I mean, hey, bring the stats. I know you guys love stats, because it's what everybody comes to this show for, right?
Yeah, all right.
Well, I mean, Croatia and France are meeting. They met 5 times. They're going to meet for their 6th time, and it was France that knocked out Croatia in the '98 World Cup in the semis there. So, Croatia's probably looking for some revenge.
It's yet another kind of people looking past Croatia, and maybe Croatia, showing everybody in the whole world again. Maybe they're not getting the respect that they deserve again.
Yeah, there's definitely that aspect. Like we said earlier, France will be the favorites. Croatia's going to be the underdog. A lot of people will be pulling for Croatia just for that fact, especially probably here in the States. We love an underdog. The last 3 World Cup finals happened to have gone to extra time. I don't know if you realize that. And it's only twice gone to penalties, in '94 and 2006, which France lost.
Mm-hmm.
That was the famous headbutt.
Yep, famous headbutt. Yep.
So, and this is France's 3rd final, '98, '06, and now. So, and Croatia's 1st. So, yeah, I mean, it should be a good game. I mean, hopefully. I mean, these finals sometimes can be so tense.
Yeah, that players kind of hold back,
so fierce,
kind of pull back. And they don't necessarily settle into the game the way they would in different scenarios because it's a World Cup final. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, these are also the guys that play in the Champions League. These are the guys that have experienced these big games before. And yeah, it's a World Cup final, but I think they're going to be ready for it. This is what they do, and I'm really hoping that they give us an entertaining game. Who do you think, okay, here's a good question for you. On Croatia, who do you think is going to be the man of the match for Croatia, and why? Who and why on Croatia?
I'm going to cheat here and say, or take the easy way out and say Luka Modric, because he's a beast. Final answer.
Right. Dude,
no,
accepted,
I mean,
man.
It's going to be that midfield. Well, this, I will say, there is a great battle to watch in this midfield. No doubt.
Which I am happy we're going to touch on. And this is what you and I have been talking about for a little while. And we didn't mention this during the actual review of their game leading into the final. But Conte is a wizard the guy knows how to teleport, and he just shows up. Yeah, something. I don't know. He like appears on every ball that France needed to win in the last game. Like that crucial ball in the midfield that when you win that ball, it sets you up for your next play in the offense. Conte's there, just like bing, like super crazy.
If it wasn't Conte, he probably put his teammate in place for him. Right there, like,
absolutely. It's ridiculous, man. The guy is out of control. So the battle that you're going to have between Luka Modric and Conte, Paul Pogba, Ivan
Rakitic, yeah.
What, dude? Let's just get a 2-on-2 street ball with that. Let's see how that goes down. Damn.
Yeah, can they set that up?
I mean, here's a good question for you. Do you think Paul Pogba is going to make his mark in this World Cup? Do you think he's going to take over that midfield? Do you think he's going to make a play in there?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he does. This is what I'll say. Paul Pogba he's doing work that doesn't, show up in the stat sheet.
Yep. Totally. That's because he's busy bodying the entire midfield of whatever team he's playing. Like he's putting bodies on the ground. It's crazy.
We like to keep track of, obviously goals, obviously is the biggest thing, and then assists and stuff like that. It's just, the work rate of what these guys are doing in the midfield, like Conte and Pogba and Modric and Rakitic. I mean, it's amazing.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you are a midfielder, or you want to be a midfielder, you want to study these guys.
Yeah.
Because they're putting on a master class of how to be a midfielder.
Absolutely.
It's great stuff.
Don't forget that reading the game is so big. Understanding where the lanes are for passing, understanding what the possible next play is, and trying to be 2-3 steps ahead. That's how Conte is teleporting, by the way. It's not because he's the biggest dude in the midfield and he's bodying people for 50-50 balls and then just wins them every time. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that he knows where the ball is going to be before the guy that's even playing the ball knows where the ball is going to be.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's going to be an incredible battle. Okay, but then here's your next question. Is France's front line, Giroud, Griezmann, Mbappe, do you think they can break this Croatian defense and put away more than one goal?
Yeah, I definitely do think they have a shot. I mean, because Olivier Giroud has been quite quiet in this tournament. I don't believe he has a goal.
Yeah.
But he has a knack for just being in the right place at the right time sometimes. And this guy has some stupid goals sometimes. Like I don't know if you've ever looked at some of the goals he scored for Arsenal. I mean, it's just like he can put them away, and you're sometimes surprised at the technique he has. And then, I mean, Griezmann, I like the player a lot.
How can you not like the way he plays?
He does a lot of good stuff at Atleti. Yeah,
so he seems just like such a he seems like just like such a rock solid like prototype, not too flashy, just plays the right ball, takes the shot at the right time, has the skill to make the right play, and doesn't need to like show off per se,
No, he's lethal. He can definitely be lethal. So it's like,
and then hold on.
That.
Please, let's not forget Mbappe, because Kylian Mbappe.
Oh yeah, I mean. Well, you have to say in a way, if Conte is the heart of the engine room in the midfield for France, Mbappe is the straw that stirs the drink.
Yeah, I like that.
This guy is like, he's all over the place, and the guy runs for days. I mean, that will be interesting to see how Croatia and their tired legs keep up with Mbappe.
It looks like Mbappe's stride is like a foot and a half longer than everybody else in the whole World Cup right now. It's crazy.
Hey, man.
Like when he takes that first touch, I know. He takes that first touch and then his explosion off the ball, he's like in full sprint immediately after his first touch, and then he's just burning fools all day. No one can touch him, man.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really exciting to see him play. I'm so excited.
High octane.
Yeah,
fuel in
absolutely. So I think that France is definitely, again, I think that they are the favorites in this match. I think that France is going to win. I'm going to pick France in this game. I am going to say it's going to be 2-1. It's a little bit safe, I suppose. But you know what? After going 0 for 2 in the last round, I gotta take the safe bet. So I'm going with France 2-1. What do you think? Where do you see this coming out?
Man, this is interesting because Croatia seems like, don't they feel like a team of destiny? Doesn't it feel like...
It kind of does right now. I mean...
It just sounds cheesy or cliche, but it feels that way. France, they're in a final, and it almost feels like they haven't had to break a sweat to do it.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying.
It's really gonna be interesting to see how France... I'm going to take this all the way back to the Mexico-Germany game.
Okay.
If Croatia takes it to France like Mexico did to Germany, France could be in trouble.
That's true.
I mean, France has got to take this game and control it from the get-go. They got to snuff out the belief.
That's true.
That Croatia has.
I think you're absolutely right. I think that's a good way of putting it, snuffing out the belief that they have right now, because the belief is obviously at an all-time high for Croatia, and you can't deny the talent that they have. So of course the belief is there. France play the part where they're the favorite, and you're absolutely right. If they snuff that out right away, if they just stomp on that, Conte starts winning those balls in the midfield, and Mbappe starts burning people right off the bat. I mean, Pogba's just bodying tired legs all the way through the midfield as well. Yeah, if that goes down, that could get ugly. Could get ugly on the other side too.
It could. It really could. Just to be contrarian, I'm going to go the other way. And
what?
This is obviously going to go against everything that I believe and stand for. I'm going to go against my country of heritage and say that Croatia is going to lift the trophy for the first time. And obviously I'm saying this hoping I'm wrong, but...
so your heart is with France, and your brain is with Croatia. You're throwing it out there. You're saying Croatia's going to take it home.
At least my mouth... My mouth is with Croatia. Okay. I don't think my brain and my heart agree. But, I'm going to take Croatia to win 2-1, and of course it's going to go to extra time.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay. Call it extra time. Man, I think honestly that France has got this one. I'm hoping they do, but at the same time, if you are right and Croatia ends up winning, it will be a team of destiny, and it will be one of the most storied, most improbable victories that anyone has ever had.
Yeah, in this way, if Croatia does win, I won't be mad at them. I will stand up and applaud them because they deserve it, man. Yeah, that is like, come on.
Yeah.
You can't take it away from them, man. There's no doubt about it. So
absolutely. Well, it's exciting. So Sunday, the final is going down. On Saturday, the third place game between Belgium and England is going to be 9 a.m. Central, which means 7 a.m. Pacific. The France-Croatia final is happening on Sunday, July 15th, here in the United States, 10 a.m. Central Time, which means 8 a.m. over on the Pacific. So it's going to be exciting, and everyone is pumped. Will the underdog win, or will the superpower prevail? We'll see. We do plan on doing a World Cup review, and we're going to try to our best to get it out on the 16th. So we're going to be working hard for you guys. So hopefully we have some good content for you. Wrapping this up, I just want to say again, we really thank all of you for sticking with us, going through these first shows of ours and growing with us, evolving with us. We're really excited to be able to talk soccer with you guys, and we want to hear back from you guys also. So please connect with us on social media. Send us an email at info@allsoccerallday.com. Just go to allsoccerallday.com, subscribe there, all that stuff. Okay, so I don't want to chew your ear off with that. So all those things, go do all those things. Eric D, do you have anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I do. I'm hoping to see Croatia in those the red and white checkered kits.
Ooh, that'd be hot.
They should wear those. France should wear the blue. There should be no kit clashing. I mean, they've been in those dark blue kits like almost the whole tournament. It's a shame that these FIFA regulations have robbed us of those beautiful checkered, very unique checkered style kits that Croatia has.
That's very true. I like it. Keeping the fashion tip. You got to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, come on, FIFA, please give us what we want.
That's right.
Gosh, I mean, it's ridiculous. And as always, guys, enjoy the games and don't hate.
Don't hate.